Welcome, folks. Welcome once again to yet another episode of Fly Spirited Away. Peace on earth, peace everywhere. So, today's topic basically, we will be talking about gratitude. So, we will discuss more about gratitude. What does that mean? And does that serve us any purpose? Is it of any benefit? Or is it complete wastage of time? So that's what we'll be discussing in more details about it. So anyway, let's go for it. So what is gratitude? Gratitude means being thankful, be obliged, being indebted to someone, to no one else, not like any other person, not to a person. It can be to a person, can be to your mom, dad, to a person, to a friend, and this thing. But that's what not the topic, because in some sense it is related, because that kind of thing is still very limited in some sense. But I mean in a much bigger sense, that basically you saying indebted, or you being thankful to the God, to the Almighty, to the universe, to the reality, to your faith, to whatever the faith you believe in, to whatever deity you believe in, to a stone, to anything, you just simply say thank you. Just feeling good about it. So I have been to many temples, and I've seen at times like people making or singing songs for their faith, and in a group setting, and I saw many of them in a very happy, closing their eyes and very happy and completely lost in the thought. I've seen that. I've been invited once to a family for some kind of celebration, and they prayed to the God initially, and then I see the mom, dad, after the prayer was over, and they were suddenly getting, after the finishing the prayer, they started getting suddenly serious about it, and basically at some point both of them start crying. Basically, in some way, they are trying to practice self-compassion, and but they started crying, and I just wonder, why would anyone do that? That doesn't make any sense to me. I don't even see of any value. That does not make sense, to cry as if someone. It seems really weird to me. I came to Atlanta in my youth at some point, and on a New Year's Day, I see a bunch of high schooler kids. On the New Year's Day, basically they gather together and they hold each other's hand, and they start praying for Jesus, or praying for the new year. And I was also there, so they also included me in there, and they closed their eyes, and one of the guys started making prayers, and everyone was deeply connecting with themselves. I didn't understood it then, but for their respect, I pretend to doing the same what they've been doing it. But I've been seeing them, that they were all connecting with themselves in some ways, and praying for the new year and how good it has been the last year. And I think that is something different. That made me think more. I wanted to think more about it, and end up going to a mosque, and I saw a lady, and she was making weird poses with her eyes closed, try to connect with her God, and again I really saying, that's weird, that doesn't make any sense. So I've seen so many practices happening in so many different faiths, so many different religions, and I really wanted to make sense. What does that buy us? Does that solve any problem? Are we praying a stone, like it's a beautiful stone carved and everything, or are we praying to our imagination, figment of our imagination, or are we praying to a piece of history that someone existed in the past? What is that, and does that solve any of our problem, and what does that benefit by it? Isn't it a complete waste? Is it a complete wastage of time? I mean, that begs me a question, and I wanted to look more and try to discover it. Why people will do this way? In the initial days, it didn't make sense, and apparently I could not make much sense. I've seen people while eating food, whenever they start eating food, they first pray gratitude to the God for having food, and I kind of understand, but then I never understood it. But now I'm trying to dissect this whole problem, and I'm trying to understand it better. That is it of value? So I'm going to put forward my thesis on this thing, and you decide if I make sense or not. So what I understood is that basically we, as a human being, basically we are people of feelings, and feelings is all that we have. Feeling good, feeling bad, feeling enthusiastic, feeling sad, feeling depressed, feeling in bliss, feeling in all there are 1,000 kind of feelings about it. Anxiety, you'll find all kind of feelings around it. We are basically people of feelings at the end of the day. How do we feel is basically how does people keep on talking about happiness, joy, whatever it is, they keep on going for that thing, but in the end it's all about that feeling piece of it. So that begs the question that how does playing gratitude helps you feeling? How does it help you feeling? And the answer actually it comes in a very amazing way. That when we say, so before that I must tell you two things. Basically, piece of it is we always think something consciously, something we logically, we're trying to make sense, our logical sense out of it. Oh, this makes sense, this does not make sense. Like here, if you make logical sense out of it, it's a wastage of time. You are praying to a stone. It's no value to you. It's a logical conclusion. You're thinking consciously make sense out of it. That's one piece of it. But the conscious piece is basically about 5% of our brain, 5 or 7% of our brain. The rest of it is basically all subconscious. Or what you cannot see it, what's happening behind the back of it. You are breathing. Do you know you're breathing? Did you make any conscious effort? You're watching, you're seeing your world. Did you make any conscious world to see it? You're hearing. Did you make any conscious effort? All happening subconsciously. Suddenly something happens in the middle of the night, the fear sets in. The fear came to you suddenly out of nowhere because you were going in the night time out of somewhere, and the fear sets in. Did you thought about it? No, subconsciously it happened that something is not right? You started getting a sense of flight. I got to run, something is not right. And did you thought about it? No, it happens naturally, part of your subconscious brain. So basically all I'm saying, close to 95% of which basically subconscious about it, and all our feelings and all our who truly are comes from that subconscious piece of it, the feeling that comes from subconscious piece of it. So what's really happening is basically when we praise and we say thank you, and actually we should be truly thanking it, because if we are alive and if we are well and if we are taking a breath right now, and in any senses if you can feel your world around you, we should be really thanking it, because it's a privilege. It's truly a privilege, because in the world, in this crazy world, so many bad things are happening. People don't have food to eat, and people getting killed in the war, and people fight for no apparent reason, and there's so many accidents that are happening around here. If you get this live, and if you are listening to this conversation, I mean, you should be really thankful that at least you are in this ability, because many of those people, they don't even get this opportunity to even have this thing. But that piece of being thanking yourself, thanking to the God, thanking to the ultimate for that experience around. What does that serve? Outrightly nothing, logically nothing. You may think it's wastage, but if you just make it a practice of your everyday life, this whole practice of being thankful, this sets so subconsciously inside your brain that you start a feeling of happiness inside it. It just sets a feeling of happiness inside it. It's not logical. It's basically so, it is just you become that because you simply saying thank you. It is just that a marathon runner keeps on running every day to perfect to go to the next level. Is a swimmer keep on practicing every day to make a 1 second or microsecond or difference in the game. It is just same practice. If you keep on doing practices, thanking every day for the food that you eat it, for thanking for the water that you get it, because people don't even get to drink good water in the rest of the world. You just thank yourself for that. Thank for someone who is taking care of you, right? Thank you for the air that we breathe in. Thank you for everything. Thank you for God for whatever they offered it and bring us this far where we are, where I'm in position to talk to you right now. For so many years, for keeping me alive and well. These all gratitude. These are all part of my gratitude. And in many ways it is true. If you look at it, it is so true that only because of His grace, His or her grace, we are here. Right? And that subconscious feeling sets a sense of happiness. And what happens is that what you truly are is what you give it to others. So if you are not happy in yourself, there's no way you can pass that happiness to others. People keep on talking, I mean, you 1,000 things. Let me people give a lecture on happiness, how to be happy, how should be doing that. On birthday, people saying, I wish whatever you get all the happiness in the world. I mean, people can do around that thing. But that sense of happiness is so superficial, so meaningful. People can give you material gift and here 5 seconds of transient happiness. Stay with it and you're going to lose it. Is that happiness? You can buy a good car, BMW car, Mercedes, or whatever the top class car you can buy. Materialistic, transient, yes. You get sense of happiness, yes. It's going to last only for a transient time. Are you truly happy? No, you are not. A truly happiness sense doesn't really come from any material pleasure. Nothing. Where does the happiness stem from? The happiness comes from, if it's within you, it is there with you. If it is not there, no amount of thing can bring you happiness to you. Nothing can bring happiness to you. So to that end, did the practice of gratitude bring happiness to you? Did it ingrained in you? You become part of it. And basically when you become part of it, and then you become happy, that's when you can pass the other's happiness. And then you're happy. Even you heard of people will come to you naturally because you are a happy person. Right? I mean, it's a very common sense. What you are is what you're going to attract. I mean, your vibe and your frequency is basically what you're going to attract. And to give an example, I mean, if you go to high school or go to middle school, or when people start forming a group, like when the student basically started in a big school, forming a group, you'll see there's a collection of groups. This is one group of people, there's one group of students, there's one group of students, and you see people in one group of students is a very similar kind because they have similar vibes. and people in another group, and some people are really too good in too educated and something, or big into education, or people may call it at times nerdy because they're too deep into subject. They may be sometime by one alone, or could be, but they could be a group of 1 or 2 or 3 people, very small group. That is their frequency, right? And there's people who just want to go out, have a party time, and really have a good time. There's a set of group of people there. You'll find all kind of group here. Basically, the frequency is basically what you're going to attract. What you are is what you truly attract. And if you are happy, basically in that sense, you're going to be attracting that kind of people for you. So basically, I mean, to sense of practice, the happiness. I've been to many people ask me, and I've been to a few of the places, and people discussed, and I heard about it. To me, none of it makes sense. The materialistic pleasure, buying, everything is transient. None of it makes sense. So the point is that, can I give myself happiness? Can I give myself happiness? Like that, basically what. If you really check, many people say, oh, I'm so big, I am big guy, I'm a rich person, oh, I am that, or I really hold this kind of position of power and this, and I feel good about myself, and I'm so happy and all that thing. You think that is happiness? You think that happiness? Do you think rich people are happy? I've seen people in shanties living, coming from India. I've seen people with nothing. I've seen people roaming in the streets with nothing. They don't even have a house. I've seen the kids. I've seen the happiness in their faces. They have nothing. They don't know where the next meal is going to come from. Are they happy? And I can tell you, people living in multi-million-dollar mansions, right? Having extremely lonely, committing suicide. They have everything in the world, but they have nothing. And here are these kids and these people who have nothing, but yet everything. Right? Bottom line, I was really saying is that the point is that to really get a sense of happiness, and basically even in the old age, people really get into depression and all that. And you've seen many old people who are simply happy. Not all old people got into depression. I've seen people even 90s, even 100s. It is the vibe they are. It's the internal nature of who truly they are. They're simply happy. And they just spread happiness. And that's basically, even everyone want to come and sit next to them because they are spreading happiness. And yet I've seen people in similar age, but they're not happy. They're not happy inside it. And there always something happening, and the point is that you see most people don't want to come to them. So it's not about, it's just about your frequency, your vibe, it's what's ingrained in you, right? So did practicing gratitude, saying thank you, making an everyday affair, making every day for whatever you're getting it, practicing, does that help you? Absolutely. It changes completely who you are. In the new world, basically, when we people are not practicing their faith anymore, they don't value their faith anymore. They truly believe that, okay, there is no God, there is nothing, and everything I'm going to do it myself. And they value their ego, their pride, and they think everything I'll fend for myself. I mean, you very soon, at some point when they realize it, yeah, when they gain certain things, it's good. But the point is that that gain has to be constantly changing, because as they grow up, the new things keeps on coming in, changing it, and the change is endless. And this change is endless. And eventually, by changing constantly, they will be getting completely tired. And this when change ends, it doesn't really feel good anymore. And when you reflect back and you think, I've been running all the time. And where was my happiness? Where was my happiness? You never looked. It was always inside of you. You keep on always looking outside. It is so foolish, no? right? Looking outside, you keep on chasing forever, you will never find it. Right? Even if you achieve it, it is the next level. You achieve it, next level. Achieve it, next level. Endless chase. Right? So if you become practicing gratitude, I think it's a really great thing. It's a great practice. I think everyone should be doing it. And this is what, in true sense, makes you a happy person. Folks, until next time, peace on earth, peace everywhere. Bye.